it's Monique, and before we get started with this video, I want to remind you to please go to my website at letstalkdarling.com. Make sure to connect with me on all my social media platforms, which will be listed at the top of my website. Definitely go on and subscribe to my website, sign up with your email address so that you can get notifications on things that I cannot share on social media. You'll also get emails giving you discount codes to my merch store. I have a lot of great merch on there, and I really, really appreciate your guys' support. Please, 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 once you watch this video, give it a like, give it a comment, let me know what you think. Don't forget to share the videos that I post, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really, really depend on you guys to be able to keep doing this. I need your support, and that is how you give it. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. All right, so I'm going to do a story today just to educate everybody out there on the numbers. Now, these are not numbers that come from my personal opinion. These are numbers that come from either the CDC, the World Health Organization, different websites like moneygeek.com as far as the financial and job numbers that I'm going to report. But the reason why I wanted to report this is because I saw an article the other day that I'm going to link below. And it's actually a story that I'm going to do for Onyx News. But it was talking about the impact of COVID on jobs. Okay. Now, I know this is a topic that impacts a lot of people out there. A lot of people are interested in it. They want to know, when are things going to go back to normal? When is my work going to pick up, or when am I going to be able to find a job? So I wanted to provide you with a few stats on those questions and a few answers so that you guys can kind of wrap your head around the way some of us are thinking about this out here, that do not allow the media to manipulate our thoughts, okay, based on fear tactics. Now, first off, I'm going to go over what the facts are right now. So what's impacting this the most is obviously COVID. Okay, as we all know, COVID has caused a massive shutdown in a lot of states, primarily blue states, I might add, but I'm going to go into that in a little bit, okay, because people are very fearful of getting this virus, okay, so much so that in states like California, they have now escalated to like a purple tier where they are shutting down everything. I mean, even outdoor activities, you can't walk, you can't exercise outside. They're damn near going to shut down the airport. It's just crazy. And one has to wonder, a state like California has been very extreme with their mandates and their quarantines, but yet their numbers continue to go up. So one would question, if your numbers continue to go up despite all the things that you're doing, why would you keep increasing those measures even more when there are no results coming of it, okay? So right now, there are two unemployment programs that are kind of helping people who are unemployed, or businesses that maybe can't stay open for business or aren't getting the same amount of business they've gotten before. So that includes things like unemployment, that includes things like loans that businesses are taking out to kind of supplement their income. But those two programs are set to expire December 31st, unless Congress moves forward with a second stimulus, okay? Now, as we know, they have been going back and forth with this stimulus plan forever, okay? So pretty much since we got the first stimulus, okay, they then started talking about a second stimulus, and that has been going on forever. It's been between all the holidays and vacations that Congress likes to take, all the arguing, the political stuff back and forth. It's just not resulting in anything. We have literally gone, okay, from over $1 trillion stimulus relief package that was being talked about, and now we're at 900 billion, okay? Now I'm being told that they are close now to actually coming to an agreement. So we have some bipartisan groups in Congress working on a $900 billion stimulus package that they hope to approve. But I want to point out that this is a $900 billion package, not a like $1 to $2 trillion, if not more, dollar package that they were working on prior to this, okay? Now, there's been a lot of things going in and out of these packages. One of the biggest points of contention is the Democrats want to include things in their package that are not related to COVID, okay? Like releasing federal prisoners. They want to give stimulus checks to illegal aliens, all kinds of stuff, okay? So that's been what the back and forth has been about, because obviously the Republicans do not want to put money into a stimulus bill that have nothing to do with COVID relief. Their whole purpose and intent towards doing this bill is helping businesses, okay? So that's very, very important. Now, the other very important thing that I want people to recognize is that Nancy Pelosi herself, okay, this came out of her own mouth, and I'm going to play a clip of it, so in case you don't believe me, okay, of her admitting that it was by no mistake that the stimulus package had not been approved, that she had on purpose made a conscious decision to withhold aid until the needs of her and her party were met, okay? Not the needs of the American people. Now, in this video, you will see that she says, you know, we were withholding it for the American people, but I don't know one person who would agree with the reasons why she was holding it, which were the reasons that I was telling you before, the things that she was trying to get passed in that package. So let me just go ahead and play that clip really quick so you can see that and we can move forward with the video.
That was not a mistake. It was a decision, and it has taken us to a place where we can do the right thing without other, shall we say, considerations in the legislation that we don't want. Now, that is it. Now, the fact is, I'm very proud of where we are. My chairs have worked very hard on all of this. They were not even happy with a proposal that we made the other day before we saw this proposal. They thought we had come back too small. So it's not about an individual, it's about how we address the needs of the American people. So we're very pleased at where it is, and as I say, with a Democratic president committed to a scientific solution for this.
Okay, so you saw that video. I hope you took it in. I hope you understand what she was saying and saw her for what she is, a snake, okay? You heard it from the Grim Reaper herself. Anyways, if they do not approve this second stimulus package, there will be approximately 9 million people who will be left without aid. 9 million people, okay? Now, me being a logical thinker, okay, I could instantly tell you what the relief in my mind should be to open up the country, okay? We need to stop messing around with these stimulus packages and all these quarantine rules and all this other stuff, and we just need to open up the country. We have businesses that have spent a lot of money, okay, in getting extra provisions for their businesses to be able to provide a safe working environment for people, to minimize the transfer of this virus. And, you know, it has gone, you know, it has made no difference, because at the end of the day, they spent all this money on plexiglass and little stickers that tell you where to stand and arrows that tell you which aisle to go down, and minimizing how many people can come in their store. And still, that has not, quote unquote, helped the problem, okay? So here's another stat that I want to put out there. These are some job recovery stats, and these come from moneygeek.com if you would like to check them out for yourself. But in terms of job recovery, red states have recovered 35% more jobs than blue states, okay? So red states have recovered a total of 65% of their jobs, and red states have done about 48%. Now, the red state recovery has come at a higher price, according to moneygeek.com, with 99% more COVID cases and 78% more deaths. Okay, now I know some of you guys are hearing that and you're saying, well, Monique, that doesn't sound good, okay? 99% more COVID cases and 78% more deaths. Before you freak out, okay, I want to give you some numbers. And this is from, like I said, the CDC, and this is also from the World Health Organization. Okay, so these numbers are going to include stats on both the flu and COVID. Okay, so here's a really quick stat for you on the flu. 1 billion people get the flu each year worldwide. 1 billion people. It is estimated that this year there are 39 to 56 million cases of the flu. Now, the CDC does not know the exact numbers of the flu because it is not considered a reportable disease in most states. Okay? This is a very important thing to kind of put in the backdrop of your mind as I'm reading through this, okay? That the CDC does not report flu the same way it reports COVID, okay? So as we know, every single instance of COVID, positive COVID tests are reported, okay? And I apologize, there's a dog growling in the background, but I have a little dog downstairs and I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so when somebody gets COVID or when they think they're sick, they go to their doctor or they go to the hospital and they get a test. Now, I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience how this works, okay? You go get a test and they say you're positive or you're negative. Now, if you're negative, you go on your merry way and that's that, okay? If you are positive, what happens is your doctor will tell you to come back and retest again in a week or so to see if you're still positive, okay? Now, they count the first positive test and they count the second positive test. If you come back for that second positive test and you're still positive for COVID, you are scheduled for another test. So you basically test until you are determined that you are COVID free, okay? All of those tests are counted as positive cases, okay? For one person, you could have 2, 3, 4 positive COVID tests. So for one person, you are counting multiple tests as long as they come out positive, okay? Then we had all the issues in the beginning, okay, where we were finding out, and I don't know if this is still going on, but we were finding out that people were dying of things like heart attacks or gunshots or car accidents, and they were being tested for COVID. Their dead bodies were being tested for COVID. And even though that person died of a heart attack because they had COVID, they were being listed as the cause of death as COVID, okay? So in my mind, that is an inaccurate representation of COVID numbers, okay? So that's very, very important to note. Now, let me give you some COVID versus flu numbers, okay? These are very, very important, so please, please pay attention. Approximately 1.5 deaths reported were with COVID. Approximately 1.5 deaths were reported with COVID worldwide. 276,000 were in the U.S., okay, and have died. Now, that was between January of 2020 and December 4th of 2020, okay? So let me read that to you again. 1.5 deaths were reported from COVID worldwide, and 276,000 of those deaths happened in the U.S. That was between January and December 4th, okay? The World Health Organization estimates 290,000 to 650,000 cases of flu-related deaths happen every year worldwide. Now, notice I said flu-related deaths, okay? Flu-related deaths, okay? 290,000 to 650,000 deaths by the flu every year, okay? Compared to 276,000 in the US alone that have died of COVID, okay? So there, right there, you can see. Now, if those numbers aren't enough for you, let me give you some numbers going back historically, okay? Now, these are cases of flu and cases of COVID, okay? So in 2017 to 2018, there were 45 million cases of the flu, okay? In 2018 to 2019, there were 35 million cases of the flu. Okay? These are cases. This year, with COVID, there have been 5 million cases. Now, I don't know about you, okay? But let's take the high number. Let's take the low number, okay? 35 million cases of flu between 2018 and 2019 compared to 5 million cases of COVID, okay? Now let's look at the deaths. 2017 to 2018, there were 61,000 deaths related to the flu. Now keep in mind, as I'm reading these numbers, the flu is not reported the same way as COVID. So to all those numbers that I just read off to you, or I'm going to continue reading off to you, you know, add whatever you want to add on top of that, because these numbers are approximate. They're not reported the same way that COVID is reported, okay? So for instance, just think back to your own experience when you've had the flu, okay? When you get the flu, you go to the doctor, they give you a little test, and they say, oh, you got the flu, and they give you medicine, they send you home. They don't tell you to come back and retest for the flu, do they? No, they don't, okay? So that means they're counting your flu case if you go to the doctor one time. Because most people, you know, you start to get the body aches, you start to get a little, you know, not feeling so great, and you just take care of yourself, right? You lay down, you get rest, you take a few Tylenol or ibuprofen, you might take some Mucinex, you know what I mean? Some Tylenol cold and whatever you're gonna do to get through it. But not everybody goes to the hospital, not everybody goes to get a flu test. You just assume you have the flu and you either self-medicate or self-care, or if it's not getting better, you go to the doctor. And even if you call the doctor, what's the first thing they ask you? Well, how long have you been feeling these symptoms? Oh, like 2-3 days. Okay, well, when you've been feeling them a week, then give us a call. That's usually what they tell you when you have the flu, right? Okay. Now let's look at the flu deaths for 2018 to 2019. The flu deaths for 2018 to 2019 were 34,157 people died of the flu. Again, approximate number. Okay, so that dwindled by half between 2018 and 2019. Now the COVID numbers, death-wise, okay, so there's been 5 million cases, and out of those 5 million cases, we have had 180,000 deaths, okay? I know that the number alone sounds like a lot, but out of 5 million, 180,000 is not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot, okay? And again, I want to stress to you that it is already well known that even the numbers that they give us of COVID deaths are not accurate, because, you know, they were counting people who died with COVID, not necessarily of COVID. Does that make sense? Because we have heard that if you have a lot of comorbidities, pre-existing, you know, which are pre-existing conditions, or you have a lot of inflammation in your body, that COVID can exacerbate those issues even more, okay? So if you have autoimmune disorder and you get COVID, or if you have diabetes and you get COVID, okay, you could die because of COVID-related issues, but that's not the main issue that killed you. If you had been healthy, had not had diabetes, had not been overweight, had not had a huge amount of inflammation in your body, did not have asthma, the COVID may not have been your ultimate, you know, demise, okay? Now, when I had COVID, I was perfectly fine. I felt a little run down. I've actually had flu symptoms that were worse than my COVID symptoms that lasted much longer. But, you know, I made it through just fine because I'm healthy, okay? That's not to say that people don't die of COVID, just like people die of the flu, okay? So I want you guys to understand the numbers. The numbers are so, so very important. When you're being told in the news about your individual state or your individual city or your individual county, and you're looking at the numbers in small groups, it may seem really bad. But when you look at it in a broader spectrum, when you look at it in comparison to the flu is actually worse than COVID if you're looking at the numbers, okay? And numbers don't lie. So why we are shutting down our country, why we are, closing schools, closing gyms, closing businesses, putting people out of work, okay, for a virus that is not even like half of what the flu does is crazy to me. It is crazy, okay? We have like the two most impacted states right now from this jobs issue due to COVID are Hawaii, obviously because of the tourism aspect, and Nevada, obviously because of the tourism aspect. And a lot of people there work in the gaming or entertainment industry or arts industry, okay? They have had the strictest lockdowns and they have been the hardest hit industries. And it is really, really sad to see that that is going on. So I hope that this video helped you guys understand a little bit more, not be as afraid, not feel like, oh my gosh, I can't go out. I can't do anything. I can't hug my kids. I can't, stop, okay? Do the research, look at the numbers, and don't let the media scare you. They are doing this as a tactic. This has nothing to do with your health or concern for your health, because if it did, they would be demolishing McDonald's. They would be taking down liquor stores. They would be banning things like cigarettes, but they don't do that because they're not truly concerned for your health. They are concerned for their political agendas. That is what this is all about. But let me know what you guys think in the comments box below. Did this help provide some clarification for you? Are you a little bit less scared? Are you still terrified? I did a video the other day on whether people were going to get the vaccine. And this, you guys, is a reason why I personally choose not to get the vaccine. Number one, I've already had COVID. And number two, I'm healthy. I have no reason to be afraid. I have no reason to take the risk of getting a vaccine that is brand new, that is minimally tested, okay? Don't know what the side effects are going to be. So why would I do that to myself? Why would I put myself through that? But I want to know what you guys think. So definitely drop a comment below. Give this video a like, give this video a share, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.